There's nothing like the night of a bushfire to really make you realise that climate change is real. The first thing that I remember seeing is the firestorm. When there's a bushfire as bad as the one that came to Mallacoota, the fire actually creates its own weather system. We went outside and there were all these clouds building up and there was lightning striking and you could hear the thunder. I just remember thinking I'm literally in the middle of a natural disaster in this tiny idyllic town. I was volunteering with the paramedics. We had a Snapchat group where people were telling some of the kids that they could see their houses burning down. My grandparents lost their home and so they were living with us for a little while until they evacuated. We've never had one as bad as we do now, and all that I can connect to that is rising sea levels, rising temperatures, rising amounts of CO2 in the air. It does worry me that there's a certain level of neglect from people in power. It also kind of inspires me to do my own thing and try and help in my own way as well.
So hi everyone, my name is Will Potter. I'm a proud Gunagara man. Climate justice is a sort of term that refers to making sure that we are listening to the people who will be impacted the worst. Indigenous peoples of Australia do have a lot of solutions. We've managed the country for tens of thousands of years, particularly with fire management in that. We could go a long way for climate action by giving Indigenous peoples extra rights over their country, and that voice really isn't being heard.
My name is Ava and I'm a 17-year-old climate activist, and I'm taking the government to court. I'm taking action because I'm really anxious about the opening of a new mine in Australia, as digging up and burning coal is the single largest contributor to climate change. We're already seeing the impacts of climate change in Australia. We're facing a historic drought season, catastrophic bushfires, degrading air quality, rising temperatures, and increased flooding, causing disproportionate harm to vulnerable communities. Young people like me are especially vulnerable, as we have no political power. We can't vote or run for elections. Instead, we rely on adults to take care of the world we will inherit.
There needs to be a better relationship between young people and the older generations and politicians and scientists. Personally, I'm a bit of an optimist, and I think that we can do it, but it's just a matter of teamwork.